Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to PSP Projects Limited Q4 FY21 earnings conference call hosted by Dolat Capital Markets Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Aisa. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you all for Q4 FY21 results conference call of PSP Projects Limited. We thank the management for giving us the opportunity to host the call. From the management, we have Mr. P.S. Patel, Managing Director, and Mrs. Sheetal Patel, CFO. Without wasting much time, I would now hand over the floor to the management for their opening remarks, and then we can have a Q&A. Over to you, P.S. sir.
Thank you, Shravan. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is P.S. Patel, Chairman, Managing Director, and CEO of PSP Projects Limited, along with Ms. Sheetal Patel, CFO. Welcome you all on this earnings conference call, which is focusing on our company's performance in Q4 by FY 2021 and probably FY21 also, I would say. First of all, hope you all are safe at your place and do take care of yourselves. Before we move to the financial statistics and performance of last quarter and financial year, I would like to throw light on few of the key developments of this quarter and the whole year. From the revenue side, company has booked revenue from operation of rupees 1240.86 crore, which is about 17% less compared to year on year. Simultaneously, we compared the working environment year on year. We all know this year has been the big challenge to all industries throughout the nation and throughout the world. And construction industry was also one of the major impact ones. At the start of the COVID last year, the first quarter miserably impacted in operation and we could hardly achieve some numbers. At the end of the first quarter, we were expecting flat revenue back as the work to resume by July or August was practically prolonged till end of second quarter. Also, our expectations of some of the slow-moving projects to resume just at the end of the August, which could not happen in projects like, for projects like Bhiwandi, IIM, Old Campus, Sabal or Swaminarayan, which eventually got cancelled at the later stage because of the death of the Swami. These all three projects amounting to about 900 crore, which made us our revenue fall short to flat, which we were expecting. But still looking to rupees 1240 crore revenue, we believe that our company has still done better. At the time, loss due to corona is almost 50%, but revenue loss compared to the last year is only 70%, which itself speaks about company's strong management, growth, sustainability in the hard times, and giving us the confidence to do better and better. About PAT guidance getting reduced as we could control our overheads to almost half in first quarter, but first two quarter no big revenue was booked as impacted the bottom line by about 1.5%, as there were several expenses to maintain labor for first 2 months before migration and later to get them back from their home state, and after COVID also to regain work fast we have to manage transport and all, which cost in total to the company was about 4 crore impacting on the bottom line. Also this year we have booked some losses by subsidiaries to the extent of rupees 6 crore. Putting all this together, total unexpected expenses was about 10 crore, which has impacted for the overall PAT landing at 6.4%, which is about 1.5% less to the previous year. Order book. At the end of FY21, company stands with robust and highest ever order book of 4,120.97 crore. I would like to admit here that out of this order book, there is a portion of 17%, that is about 730 crore, that the work is not progressing due to clearance issues and other hindrances. Remaining 83% of the order book is fully mobilized and work has started. Regarding Precast factory, our Precast plant, we have spent about 59 crore till now, and the plant is almost ready and probably shall commission the same in the first week of July, which was expected to commission by May end, but due to the second wave of COVID, it has got prolonged a bit. About US subsidiary, this has extended These have also extended beyond expectation due to COVID and strict guidelines of real estate permissions. But slowly now things are shaping up, and we have got the main approval from the city, to which it took a very long time. But now things are getting shaped up in getting the further approval. Surat Diamond Boost. Surat Diamond Boost project is on the verge of completion, and we have already billed more than 1,400 crore on the project. In fact, client have also started giving positions to end users in some of the towers for the fit out. The entire scope of work, including civil MEP and facade work, is completed, and some portion of facade work is completed. Only few works like clubhouse, compound wall, and ground floor lobby interiors works where we are waiting for some clearances from the client side. So it has got delayed to an extent of about 2 months. UP Medical College and Hospital. About UP projects, our all designs are submitted and are getting approved one by one. We have also mobilized plant machinery and manpower at the site during this challenging time of second wave. We shall be in position to start work by first week of July onwards on all projects one by one as designs get approved. There is really a good intention and eagerness by client also to complete the projects in time. One more good thing in this is that the client has already granted the start date of the project as 1st June 2021 instead of March 1st week, as second wave of COVID which has hit UP on a larger extent. So practically this time has been well utilized by PSP in design and mobilization and getting almost all tender time real time for execution only. Bhiwandi project in Mumbai. Last but not least about Bhiwandi project, as we have submitted detail on stock exchange that we were compelled to go to court as the project got delayed too much without any report of us. Against show cause notice, which I am happy to say, he got stay and safeguarded our BG of 6.75 crore. On this project, there is a loss of about 60 crores in cement and steel and other escalation, putting us practically doing the whole project without profit. So we requested to give escalation of or terminate the contract as per clause 3A, which is our right as per contract, as delay is not at all on our part. We hope, as court has given us stay, some positive solutions may come out in next few days or few weeks. So these were the key highlights from my side. For detailed financial disclosures, I will request our CFO, Ms. Hetal Patel, to take it forward. Thank you everyone to be a part of this call.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome you on the call. Let me first give you highlights on the standalone financial results for the quarter ending on 31st March 2021. Company has booked revenue from operations of rupees 500.72 crores for quarter 4. The revenue generated from Surat project was rupees 190 crores during this quarter. Total revenue booked for Surat project for the year is rupees 436 crores, and cumulative revenue till 31st March 21 for the project was rupees 1,393 crores. Company has booked EBITDA of rupees 62 crores, which is 12.39% of the revenue from the operations for this quarter. Net profit for the quarter is rupees 40.88 crores, which is 8.10% of the total revenue. Revenue for the year ended on 31st March 21 is arrived at 1,240.86 crores, and EBITDA for the year is 134.81 crores, which is 10.86% on revenue from operations. Net profit for the year is arrived at rupees 80.88 crores, which is 6.43% of the total revenue. This year we have incurred some expenses which are of non-recurring nature. As PSR has already mentioned that 10 crores were such expenses, which includes 4 crores for COVID and 6 crores for impairment of losses in subsidiaries, Indian and foreign subsidiaries. We have also booked 1.33 crore of foreign exchange loss due to USD rate fluctuation for the year. There is no change in revenue for the year on consolidated basis. Net profit as per consolidated financials is 81.94 crores, which is 6.44% of the total revenue. Gross block of the company has increased from 197 crore to 227 crore, which mainly includes acquisition of 20 crores of land for precast unit and 9 crore of machineries for precast unit which has been capitalized. We have shown capital work in progress of 41 crores, which includes 30 crores for precast unit, which will be capitalized on commissioning of the project. Hence, in total, capital expenditure incurred for precast plant is 59 crores. Working capital days on standalone basis are as follows. Debtor days are 65, creditor days are 76, and inventory days are 26. Out of total credit facilities of 610 crores, utilized limit as on 31st March 21 was 430 crores, of which 68 crores are fund-based utilization and 362 crores is non-fund-based utilization. Work on hand as on 31st March 2021 is ₹4,121 crores, which comprises of ₹382 crores for Surat Diamond Board project and ₹3,739 crores for other projects. As on 31st March 2021, the company has total fixed deposits of 182 crores, out of which free deposits of ₹47 crores. FD worth ₹128 crores are under lien with bank for credit facility, and FD given to the clients as security deposit amounts to ₹7 crores. With this, I end up on giving key highlights on the company's financial performance. And now we are open for the question and answer session. So request the moderator to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Chintan Sheth from Sameeksha Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity and the performance given the circumstances. Sir, on the SDB part, you mentioned 190 crore booking this quarter, right? For Surat Diamond Board project.
Yeah.
So, but if we look at the outstanding order book at SDB, sequentially it remains flat or it increased by 10 crore. So, is the scope of work got increased during the quarter and we executed 100 crore, 190 crore this quarter?
Overall, there is an increase of 200 crore.
200 crore. Now we have to consider the project value at 1,775 crore.
1,775.
That much value has already been added and built to some extent because these are the variations in cement and steel. At the same time, some extra work that has already been approved up to a value of 200 crores. So we are considering Surat as completion as 1775 without that.
Sure. And secondly, given you mentioned the 6.7 crore you were able to get the stay from the district court, but it also mentioned there is 60 crore of steel and cement, which is related to the escalation and the cost from all this raw material. So we are facing any absolute loss on the project. We have purchased raw material and that kind of damage because of delay. How should we look at it? Okay.
Actually, your question was not clear, but I think you are talking about the Bhiwandi project and any loss booked for that. But still, we haven't started any billing for Bhiwandi project.
Yeah. So, if the project gets terminated, do we foresee any losses from the project because of the preliminary mobilization of resources we have done at Bhiwandi site?
We have moved in maybe
we have kept it in whatever expenditures incurred, we have kept it in WIP, and still the decision is with the we have just taken the stay and all, so it's a pending decision. So we haven't moved any of it.
What is the CWIP we have generated related to Bhiwandi?
Sorry, your voice is not clear.
So I'm saying you mentioned CWIP and Bhiwandi.
No, your voice is not at all clear. Your
Mr.
voice is
Singh,
not at
audio
all
is not
clear.
quite clear. We would request you to please come back in the question queue. The next question is from the line of Ashwin from DS Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Is my voice audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is that in nearly 13 years, you built a company from scratch to nearly 1,300 crores turnover. I just wanted to understand, going from here to sort of like a 3,000, 4,000 crore turnover, how do you view the challenges we could face and our plans for it? Primarily in terms of management of working capital and management bandwidth to sort of be able to execute multiple projects concurrently across multiple states. So I just want to understand how you view the path ahead for the next 3 to 5 years and how you are strategizing for it.
I think there is some problem in the call. Shravan, there is some problem in the call here. Each and every person who is speaking is not at all clear to us. It is something like the voice is getting faded. Hello?
Am I audible now? Shall I repeat my question?
Yeah.
Okay. So in nearly 13 years, you've built a company from scratch to nearly 1,300 crores turnover. I just wanted to understand, going from here to a 3,000 to 4,000 crore turnover, how do you view the challenges we could face and our plans for it in terms of management of working capital and management bandwidth to be able to execute multiple projects concurrently across multiple states? I just wanted to understand how you view the path ahead for the next 3 to 5 years and how you are strategizing for it.
Yeah, I got your question now. So see, it is not about the 3,000 or 4,000 crore what we are expecting. It is all about what pace we would like to grow. The pace with which we have grown, it depends on the management bandwidth. The regular bandwidth which we can all expect is 25 to 30%, but we have always grown up more than 30%. So when the bandwidth of the person management goes on increasing in the pace of 20 to 25%, and if your credentials are good and if you are able to perform well on the execution side, I think whatever value we think about it is whether 3,000 or 4,000, I don't visualize the next 3-4 years, but at least I can say about next 2 years, we would be able to manage that in a proper way as far as our management bandwidth is good, and it is getting strengthened. At the same time, our credit facilities are also getting increased. So from 610 to we have increased our credit facility, banking facility to 1047 crore already. Now it's only about management bandwidth, which we have been doing since last 3-4 years, and we have been doing better and better as far as growth is concerned. So we can expect 20-25% growth, and regularly we should add on people so that the culture remains the same, and we can achieve the targets what we are expecting or what you are saying to reach to 3,000 crore or 4,000.
Okay, thank you. And also my second question is, how do you view the government and private clients order book mix shaping up? So we are already...
We are never inclined to any government or any private. It is all about buildings, and wherever there is a substantial client in government or a substantial client in private where the competition is healthy, and as a construction company, we can't focus on any single identity, whether it is a private or a government. And as such, PSP has been able to do better in both the fields. So whatever opportunities, if it is within the limits of the expected profits, what we expect, we would always like to bid. So this may vary from time to time.
But do you see that the quality of receivables could be a concern going forward as the base of government revenues increases?
No, I don't think so, because as far as PSP's order book is concerned, and whatever projects which we are going ahead, supposing if you talk about the UP Medical College and Hospital, these are all the projects which are having finance, And usually when we bid for a government project, usually it is some of the marquee projects of that government. So probably we haven't faced till now, and we would expect it will not face too much problem in terms of finance, not receivables from government.
Okay. If I can just squeeze in one last question. In an earlier call, you had mentioned that about how some of the larger players like L&T and Shapoorji are now bidding aggressively in the large projects, and how we are being cautious on maintaining our usual margins when we are bidding for projects. So any inputs on how the competition bidding is turning out since then? And since we had a slew of order wins recently, any comments on the margin profile in these orders? Will this be in our usual sort of range?
No, what we usually bid, we have some criteria within the office and what type of conditions are there in the tender, what level of organization it is, whether it is government or private. If it is a government project, what are the liabilities which is lying on the tender. So depending on that, we put in our margin as cost plus percentage. And that should in return be somewhere in the range of to be converted at EBITDA level of 11-12%. That way we bid. Rest of the companies, how they bid, I would say there can be a difference of overhead from different companies. Once we are still we are able to manage our finance properly, we are still able to manage our overheads properly. I think we would still stand competitive with these companies, even they bid little bit aggressive.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any follow-up questions, as we have several participants waiting for their turn. We would request the participants to please use your handsets. The next question is from the line of Sita Raman from Spark Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you. So I would like to know on the bid pipeline for PSP itself, and if you can split it and give it across various sectors and also across the states, it will be helpful.
You are talking about the bid pipeline?
Yeah, bid pipeline, correct.
So presently we are having a bid pipeline of about 3,000 crore. We have not distributed within the states or the identity of the owner, but I would say that presently I can see a figure of 3,000 crore.
Okay, and across the states, how it is distributed?
It is mostly in Gujarat and some, you can say about 700-800 crore out of Gujarat, and rest of the projects are in Gujarat.
Come on, 700-800 crores?
Out of Gujarat, and rest of the 3,000 crore, about 2,300 crore coming from Gujarat only, this pipeline.
So this total 3,000 crores is coming from Gujarat itself?
Total is 3,000 crore. Out of that 700 to 800 you can consider as out of Gujarat.
Oh, out of Gujarat. Okay. And what is the status of the Central Vista project? Any update on that?
Central Vista projects are still going on. Tenders are coming. There was one more tender of 3,400 crore. Still we are not able to qualify because of the Surat Diamond Post not getting completed. Once we get complete the project and get the working completion certificate, I think we'll be in a position to bid for those types of projects.
Okay. And can you quantify the impact on 1Q FY22 execution and on the labor availability because of this COVID second wave situation?
What do you exactly ask?
On the current quarter, can you tell us about the labor availability and its impact on the productivity itself?
I think on current quarter we could be better we talk later, please.
Okay.
You have already been talking to some of the investors on a phone call related to current quarter, but I think these are questions we should talk in person at later stage, if you don't mind.
Okay, fine. And what is the receivables including retention and unbilled revenues? What is it?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Receivables, as you can see on the face of the balance sheet, it is 222 crores.
Okay.
And unbilled revenue, which is included in other assets, is 77 crores. which was 115 crore last year, so it has reduced to 77 crore, which mainly includes the 25 crore from Surat project itself. And retention money that is included in, it's segregated in current and non-current portion and included in other financial assets. So in total, the retention amount is around 90 crore.
Okay. And the inventory including work in progress?
Yeah, inventory, work in progress and inventory are different. If you can see, the work in progress is 27 crore.
Thank you. We would request the current participant to please come back in the question queue for any follow-up questions. We would request the participants to please limit your questions to 2 per participant. The next question is from the line of Agam Shah from Raj Trading. Please go ahead. Mr. Shah, you can go ahead, please. We would request you to unmute yourself if muted from the handset.
What's the month, sir?
Due to no response, I have muted the line. The next question is from the line of Dhruv Bhimrajka from Monarch AIF. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and congratulations on a good set of numbers. Sir, I wanted to ask a question regarding the UP Medical Colleges and Hospital projects. So, is these projects on a fixed price basis, or any raw material cost increases are a pass-through?
It is actually it's an EPC contract, a fixed amount, fixed size total project, but there is a clause of variation in terms of cement, steel, labor, fuel, and all material, but that will be based on the RBI index.
Okay. So so as per the formula, whatever price increases or volatility is there, you would be able to pass some or all of the thing to the field.
70% at least can be recovered because the RBI index follows the all over India price index. So
okay.
It may happen that what price you are getting in UP, the overall index may not have given that much impact. But in general, we can say when there is a price escalation adjustment as per RBI, at least 70-80% value is recovered.
Okay, 70 to 80% value is recovered, you said.
Yeah, and it can be vice versa also. Sometimes what you have spent and the overall inflation in other states are more, then that can be on plus side also. Okay. And my last question is, sir, on the consolidated EBITDA margin guidance for the coming 2-3 years, what should be the EBITDA margin band that we can expect? We have been telling since 2 years or 3 years whatever the tendering process which we do and the tendering targets we meet, selection of the client and the selection of the project, we usually try to maintain those at the level of 11 and 12%.
11 to 12% you said, right? Okay. But sir, in the past, the margins have been closer to 13-14%. Then why are we giving a guidance for 11 to 12% then?
14% is, I think, very past beyond 2 years back, and I think that was 3 years back, and that was because of when the projects were without cement steel.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you so much.
The next question is from the line of Kaushal Shah from Dhanki Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Sir, if you can, guide us the main projects that we have as of now, the UP projects. What is the timeline? Meaning these are 24 months projects, 18 months. What is roughly the execution timeline?
You mean to say for UP projects?
Yeah, for UP project, even the residential project for the private developer,
Overall, what order book you are seeing now can be spread over about 24 to 30 months, and maximum if we can talk about clear timeline about the projects of UP, it is 18 months. And as I already spoken in my initial statement, where I said that this has been we have been given start date as June instead of March, what it was in at the stage of tender. because of that UP second wave. So probably we can consider from June 18.
Okay. So, sir, just a ballpark, 18 months, would it mean that by next year, December, we are targeting to complete this? So roughly, 18 months is basically 6 quarters. So is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And the progress on the Maharashtra, the economically weaker section, the housing project, how is that? Because that also seems to be a little slow.
I already again mentioned in my initial statement about the Bhiwandi project, wherein we have not delayed the project. Delay has been done by the BMC, and against the show cause notice given by us by the commissioner to us, we went to court for stay of our bank guarantee being not revoked, which we have got yesterday only. So probably we requested them to either, because the project is now impacting us for an escalation of cement and steel to the extent of 60 crore, and if we put in other escalation also, that can go up to 70 crore. The project is 600 crore and going ahead with a clear loss of 60 crore. So we thought that let us terminate the project for UPS escalation. So on escalation part, they said there is no clause. So we have requested them to go for a termination of the contract, and to which they send us a show cause notice, which was actually a bad intention from their side. They should not do that. But being once show cause notice was issued, we have to go to court. And luckily, we have got the stay order from the court. So, and there will be some news from their side within a week or so.
Okay. And you are saying the other projects are all working normally. So there is no delay in the other projects.
No. Only these I declared you that about the total order, outstanding order book of 4,300 crore, only 17%, that is 750 crore of is to PM by scheme. That we are going slow. Rest of all the projects are going on time.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parth Parekh from Prudent Bank Broking Services. Please go ahead.
Sir, hi. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, what is the quantum of loans outstanding to PSP INC as of March 21?
Yeah, it is 25 crores.
Okay. And sir, from external reports, it seems that housing demand and prices have both picked up significantly in the US. So, why has the subsidiary reported a loss?
That is a loss which we sold the houses. So it was a small scheme, and that was sold, I think, 1.5 years back. And for actually 1 year back, that was the start of the COVID. So we sold those two properties in COVID time. So that was the loss. Presently, you are right that the property real estate is going up as on date. But when we sold, it was not so.
So after COVID, we haven't sold any properties in the US?
No.
Okay. And sir, regarding the Pandharpur project, it is going really slow, as we can see that since many quarters, revenue booking has not exceeded 6 crore. So why is it running on a slow pace?
Because client was weak in making the marketing for the sale of the houses. And now they have initiated on a larger scale, and they are expecting money from the tenants to come on account, and then only they will be able to pay. So client is not able to pay us on time. That is why the project is going slow.
Okay. And sir, last question, sir. You have reported a new project to build residential project in Gujarat for a private developer. So can you disclose the name of this developer?
Which project is it? Not necessary for us to, and they do not give us consent because they are also big identity. So we can't declare the name of the developer.
Okay, sir. Thanks for answering my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devashish Mazumdar from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on a great set of numbers. Sir, I have some confusion around the order book that you have announced. So you are saying that your current order book is, on a closing basis, is 4,121 crores. But if I see your last quarter announced order book, which was 2,500 crores, you added around 2,400 crores of order book. So that comes to 4,900 crores. And if I remove 500 crores of execution, it should be coming around 4,400, 4,500 crores, right? So I'm not getting that where this.
After that, we have cancelled one order of 100 crores, that 110 crores, that was the Pratna Bhavan, which I think you have not noticed. So presently, I have said it is 4,302. 21. 4120, sorry, 4,120. So
Yes.
I think it is the same what we have declared.
Okay. And among that, you were saying around 700 crore is slow moving.
Yeah, you can say.
Okay. Understood. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jiten Rushi from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for taking my question. So, a few questions on my side is, sir, what will be the CapEx guidance for next year, including the precast facility for next year, sir?
CapEx guidance, usually we always say that it is within the range of 3 to 4% of the total revenue. But as such, this year we were not having too much CapEx on the side of the pure construction because we had plenty of material getting free from Surat. So we have invested this year majorly on precast plant. But on regular basis, if we consider that for a good construction company, infusion of new machinery and shuttering and utilizing the materials which we are already having or the materials which are free, ranges between 3 to 4% of the total revenue expected.
So for UP project, we don't need any CapEx, sir?
As such, we are not expecting too much capex because we are having some of the materials free which we are transferring from here. But if it is so, then it will be in the range of maybe 10 to 15 crores.
And sir, this precast plant, any further capex after 59 crores, and there is some work in progress also, CWIP. So this year we can see 30 crore of capex.
Initially also we have always said that it will be in the range of 75 to 80 crores. So probably it will reach to 75 crores.
Okay. And sir, on the precast order backlog, can you highlight like what from 1st June onwards? So obviously we are going to start from July. So any orders in the we have right now where we can see some execution from the plant and kind of a revenue guidance from the precast plant for this year, FY 22 and 23?
We haven't declared any of the precast order. We are not having presently any orders for precast. Yes, we are having some of the clients with whom we are discussing on some of the projects. So once we are through with quality and consistency of the concrete in July, then onwards we will explore what are the opportunities we can get in, which we can convert it to precast.
Sir, on the bookkeeping side, can you give me the gross debt number and mobilization advances from clients and order inflow guidance for next year?
How much is the mobilization advance? Is it just question?
You are asking the order inflow or mobilization?
I will ask 3 questions. Order inflow guidance for next year, mobilization advances, and gross debt number.
The order inflow, I always say it should be within the range of the whatever revenue you are going to expect for the next year plus 20-25%. So we should expect minimum 2,000 crore order book next year.
And about the mobilization advance and outstanding the gross debt as of March?
Mobilization advance is not something which a company can predict. That depends on project to project. Some of the projects may have mobilization advance, some of the projects may not have mobilization advance.
I'm asking March ending mobilization advance, sir.
It is 31 crores.
Okay.
And gross debt, ma'am? Gross debt?
Sorry?
31 crores.
Borrowings, debt.
Yeah, current borrowing is 68 crores. It's already on the face of the balance sheet.
Including current maturities?
not be there. See, if you have look at our past balance sheets also, we haven't taken long-term loan on a larger scale. It's around 3 to 4 crores. So current maturity will be hardly 1 or 2 crores.
The UP project, any mobilization advance, are we getting any mobilization advance from the UP project, sir, for next year?
Yeah, current year we have received.
So how much, 10% we will receive for the whole project of 1,400 crores? 1,500 crores. So we'll get 150 crores.
5%. And 5 will be received once that stage comes.
Okay, so overall you will get 5% and this would be interest bearing, right?
It is an interest bearing 10%, yeah.
Okay, so we will get 5% at 10% interest cost. Am I right, sir?
It is mobilization advance of 10%. Presently we have received 5% and next 5% installment we will receive soon once we reach to that milestone. Complete the milestone of mobilization.
Sir, on the execution part, so now, as you said, the Bhiwandi project will take some time. So what is the other project which is slow moving? The IIM Ahmedabad project is almost 200 crore plus in the order backlog. So that complete project is slow moving, sir?
No, now nothing is more slow moving. The slow moving project of only the PMI scheme of Pandharpur and Bhiwandi, you can consider those two projects as slow moving. The rest of the all projects are on time.
Okay, Pandharpur and Bhiwandi. Okay, sir, that's it from my side and all the best, sir, and take care, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parikshit Kandpal from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So my question is on the Bhiwandi project. So what is the value of the bank guarantee we have submitted there?
6.73 crore.
So it's against the mobilization advance. I mean, have we received any advances for that project?
No, there was no mobilization advance in that project. This is only on performance guarantee.
You've given a 10%, about 10 or 15% performance guarantee. It's 73.
It was 1% only, as this is a TM by scheme. So it is 1% of the project as performance.
But you said guarantee value is 73 crore or 7.3 crore?
6.73 crore.
It's 6.7 crore. Okay. So that's the worst case loss which you can have on this project, right? 6.7 crore.
No, that is not the worst case loss we should expect. It's the guarantee plus whatever expenses we have made till now for the project, for giving mobilization and giving design fees to the architects and all that. But we are not calculating those losses now. We are just expecting something good news to come from their side.
Yeah.
If they can
Good news,
accept for escalation. If they accept for escalation, we don't have any problem. And if they do not accept the escalation, we have a better edge to go for arbitration.
And total, what is the total exposure as of now on this project besides this bank guarantee?
Accepting this bank guarantee about 7 crore.
Except this bank guarantee, you're saying mobilization and other expenses you would have incurred to the tune of about 7 crores. So total is like 7 crores worth of bank guarantee and 7 crores hard cash expenses which you have incurred.
Yeah, you can consider 13, 14 crores total.
Not much, sir. I mean, even if there is an issue, you can walk out also.
You are right, but it is a pain for me. 14 crores.
I understand, sir. But 70 crores is a very big amount. I mean, if the client is not agreeing and arbitration...
At the end of the day, it is not only about the value, it is also about the credentials of the company getting out of a project.
That's there, right?
Without any failure from our side. That is the bad thing which we should not expect.
I don't think it's your fault. It's because of the delay from the client side, obviously. But court process takes time. Anyway, so my second question was, again, you guided for a little lower margin this time, I think 11 to 12% EBITDA margin. So this factors in potentially whatever the inflation which you may not be able to get from the order book. Like you said, up to 80% is recoverable as per the indices. Maybe... So you have factored that while giving this 11 to 12% guidance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ravi Naredi from Naredi Investment. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Pratap Bhai. In this hard time, you had given a reasonable results. Sir, due to pharma is doing well, any major inquiry in Gujarat for few big projects in any, or will you talk something about L1 projects in hand?
No, as such there is no L1 project in hand, and about pharma, as such there is no much any big project coming up. There are a few projects in the bid book related to pharma, but this is on a corporate office side. Yes, and on the industry side, presently we are not having any project in our bid book.
Okay. So, and sir, I hope you will learn a lot from Surat Diamond project as it delay by few years. So in future, how will you take such a project? There should not be any delay, and because due to delay of this project, we are not able to bid for other projects also.
See, there are two things. What we have to learn is we are not able to execute on time. This project was majorly delayed because of the few decisions not coming from client on right side, and second reason was COVID. Otherwise, we were almost through at 36 months, which was the regular timeline of the project. And after 36 months, in last March only, there was a COVID. So that overall reason has gone to extension of further 1 more year. Actually, if you calculate the real timeline of the project, it will be not more than 40 months.
Right. Because this Surat Diamond project, we are not able to apply for other projects, so that's why the reason.
कुदरत हमारे साथ नहीं ऐसा समझ के चलते क्योंकि this could have been completed if client has given me decision on time, because March 20 when we were expecting December 19 was the last timeline, तो उसके बाद 3 महीने में खत्म होना था, but just after COVID आ गया, so we could not complete in COVID के बाद तो everything get messed up and the whole thing get extended up to 1 year. Again, the second wave has impacted, though we were expecting to complete by June, that has also extended to August.
So finally, now when we will able to complete this?
As I already said, the project when it will be completed is difficult to answer because the few issues related to client. Some of the orders directly given by the client is passing through our sequences. At the same time, we have already started giving the offices suggestion also. So they have started. It's a huge project. Even the position of all the offices will take 4 to 6 months. So, if we consider that project has to be inaugurated at that stage, I think it will be the one.
Okay. All the best, sir. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Balkrishna V from Hexagon Investment. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Almost all of the questions are covered. I have one question. Sir, what is your view on government's planning to boost infrastructure with regard to opportunities the company will have in future? I mean, what kind of opportunities or trend are you seeing currently with regard to the government's proposal to boost infrastructure?
In terms of building infrastructure, when we talk, there are the two major lines: is the airports, and the second is the medical facility hospitals. The COVID has made the people learn a lot about the pandemic when it comes to India. There are so many states which are not equally equipped to face such type of disease at one stroke. So probably there will be a huge expansion in terms of medical colleges and hospitals to come all over India. And we have completed some of the medical colleges, and we have got some few more orders in UP. Airports also, this is one big infrastructure which has to come and which we have not fully equipped all over India. That also will be one of the sectors where PSP can get a better edge. So I see these two. And on the education ground, as previously also we have been talking about is IITs and IIM. So these are the 4 sectors where we have done some of the projects, and at the same time we expect some of the more projects to come as government is aggressive on the investment in medical, medicines, airports, and education.
Thank you, sir. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankit Babel from Ventures. Please go ahead.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
So my question is, sir, if I exclude the slow-moving orders from your order book and also the Surat project order, you are left with somewhere around 3,000 crores worth of orders from other parties. And as you mentioned that the execution period of these orders is around 24 to 30 months. So even if I take the execution at 30 months, so the revenue from this 3,000 crores in this year could be around 1,200 crores. Okay. And plus this Surat project you plan to complete this year. So another 400 crores from that project. And you are also expecting some 2,000 to 2,500 crores worth of new orders. So you might, book 300 to 500 crores from that as well. So this year, if I, add up all these projects execution, so can the revenue be around 1,800 to 2,000 crores?
Yes, we should target for 1,700 to 1,800 crores, which we have already projected, and we expect that minimum 800 crores we should target for this year. By your calculation, it can go up to 2,000 crores, but if we get some new orders and which moves faster, we may reach to 2,000 crores. This 1,800 crores is achieved.
Okay, that's great. And so my second question is, once you get qualified for bigger projects post completion of your Surat order, so can we expect any big orders you bagging say around 1,500 crores plus in this year or next year?
We as a company would all be always happy to expect those types of orders, but that depends upon the market and the government order tenders coming on that last day. So the opportunities will be there, and once the opportunities are and when our PQ criteria are strong, we can expect.
Okay, so my last question is, what kind of revenues you are expecting from this precast plant on a annualized basis, sir? Going forward also, I mean, a part would be in this year, and then from next year it will be a full year. So
we should expect minimum 100 crore of work to come from this for precast plant, as we have targeted this whole revenue to get recovered in 5-year plan. So I think 100 crore is the minimum order we should expect for each year in the precast division.
So the asset turnover would be like what, 1.5 times?
1.5
at
times.
peak? The asset turnover for this for the precast plants.
Yeah.
So margin expectation would be how much, sir, in this? It should be higher, I guess.
No, that will be in the same range because all the time precast is compared to casting situ. So again, the construction cost has to be taken care of. That nobody is going to make a precast building at a cost of 20% more to a regular building. So that's the reason that it will be in the same range of general construction. It can't have a
But would our return ratios be equal to our core EPC business in this plant? Say ROC or ROE, what ROC basis?
ROC basic it'll be that.
I mean, just at 1.5 times asset turnover with a 11-12% margins, I don't think the ROC would be very great in this business. So just wanted to know the reason of entering this.
Yeah, but it will be at the initial stage we are talking about. Over the period of 5 years or so, it may increase.
Okay, you mean to say what is the reason to enter into this business? That answer I can give you. That answer I can give you because see, day by day the labor pain in the industry is going high, and the quality of work which we are expecting, the skilled labor getting reduced day by day. I think this is the only solutions to go for mass housing or mass construction work in industry, commercial or residency. So, and this is an universal fast-track methodology, technology in construction, which can give you a better quality at the same time, fast-moving project getting completed in time and continuous working throughout the year. Presently, you will see that there is no consistency of time in construction. Everywhere we have monsoon, we have festivals, and that doesn't give us full time of 9 months working, minimum 9 months working even throughout the year. That way, it will be a benefit for the future if the technology moves on, and if we are able to prove or deliver good buildings in good time. I think that we can give a better chance also.
Okay. And so just one last small question. A couple of years back, you were, you had indicated that you are looking for a professional to be the CEO of the company. Any progress on that front? Are you still looking for some professionals to be, for the CEO position?
Yes, still we are looking at.
Okay, for an external professional.
Yeah.
Okay. But anything we can hear? I mean, what's the progress? What's the latest update? I mean, any candidate shortlisted? Any candidates under discussion?
No. We have been searching and we have been discussing with the consultant, but I am not able to shortlist anybody till now.
Okay. Great, sir. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Raman, are you on there online?
Sir.
See, I have a conference call at 5 o'clock, so I have to move on. So if any questions left out, Iselman will answer. And Raman, I have to move to next video call, which is with IA.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. And thank you all of you to participate in this phone call of PSP. Thanks again.
Hello.
Ma'am, shall we move to the next question?
Sorry? Hello?
Okay. The next question is from the line of Prem Khurana from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my questions, ma'am. So 2 questions from my side. So first one was with this Pandharpur project. I mean, if you could explain us what is plaguing the performance with this project. I mean, initially it was moving okay and suddenly it has started going a little slow. And do you see any cost overruns or escalations because, I mean, it is moving slow? Because when sir spoke about, I mean, the 2 orders that are kind of moving a little slow, one was your 600 crore rupees of Bhiwandi and then the other one is this. Why is it moving slow, and are there any chances, I mean, wherein you will get to have some cost escalations because of this project moving a little slow as of now?
Yeah, see, Pandharpur project, it's moving a bit slow, mainly because there is a fund we are not receiving enough funds from them. Our bills are outstanding for a couple of months. And as sir has already mentioned, the process from their side also is pending. They have to market the flats over there. So because of that project is slow moving. We have already reduced the quantum of laborers over there because of non-receipt of funds.
Okay. But then how about escalations? Because, I mean, when you entered the project, you would have assumed some, you would have expectation, by which you would be able to kind of finish the entire project. And suddenly it has taken you longer. So you would be required to bear additional labor costs as well as site expenses.
There is no escalation clause in this project again. But see, first our priority is we should receive the funds for the work which we have already done. So that is our priority. And if we just keep on continuing the execution, there will be the volume of refuels will be huge over a period.
Sure.
So let them start the payment and then we'll again continue for that.
And how much is the total exposure to this project as of now? In terms of, let's say, receivables or unbilled?
Yeah, it's 10 crores.
10 crores? Okay. Sure. And second question was on our precast plant. I think, I mean, the precast plant is due for completion in July, and we still don't have any order as of now. So when you talk about the 3,000 crore rupees of bid pipeline that you have, are there any precast projects or precast orders in that pipeline? Or you've still not started engaging with the clients, I mean, as far as precast technology is concerned, and you would do it once the plant is up?
Yeah, see, that plant will be there, means it will be commissioned in July, but means how we will be using for the projects which are under this pipeline, it is on case-to-case basis. We'll be discussing with the clients, means we'll see what is the scope, how we can use the precast facility for those projects. So
Okay.
that we cannot judge right now.
Sure. So essentially, I mean, it still is some time before, I mean, by which we would be able to have that 100 crore rupees of number that you spoke about. I mean, the clients need to agree, right? And which is when you would be able to do it.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jiten Doshi from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question. I have one question from my side. What is in the order backlog of 4,120 crore? Can you give us a breakup between the fixed price contract and the contracts which are having variable component, escalation component in that?
I think most of the government projects are fixed price contracts. So if you see around 40% to 43% is fixed price. Yeah, we do have some escalation, as sir has already mentioned, in UP projects, but this even the Pandharpur are fixed price contracts.
And balance is private, so that is passed through, complete cost pass, right?
Yeah, mostly passed through.
So ma'am, in UP project, all the hospitals and colleges are going to start from 18 June, or we are going to start the projects in piecemeal, like one building, two building?
Yeah, we have started mobilization for all the projects.
All projects. So basically, the 18 June timeline is for all the projects started.
Yes.
So ma'am, in the bid pipeline of 3,000 crore, can you just highlight segment-wise, what is the bid pipeline and when any large project in that particular, and also, are these going to be like a fixed price bids available, like cost escalation included?
It's a repeat question. Sir has already explained about the bid pipeline and bifurcation of the bid.
Probably I could have missed that. Anyways, when are these bids going to open? Hello?
It depends on the project to project, right? So it's not sure. When it's in the process actually. Various stages are there.
So I was highlighting on this, like any government contract in the bid pipeline?
Yeah, it is combination of government contracts and private contracts.
Okay. Can you quantify if it is possible? Otherwise, it's okay, ma'am.
Government, no, we don't have the figures right
now. Okay, ma'am. That's it from my side. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you. That was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Shravan Shah.
Yeah. I thank the management for giving us the opportunity to host the call, and also thank you all the participants. Ma'am, if you want to have any closing comments, else we can conclude the call.
Yeah, nothing much from my side. Thank you everyone for joining the call. Stay safe. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Shravan. Yeah.
Thank you. On behalf of Dolat Capital, that concludes this conference. Thank you everyone for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.